Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR, HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Important in all things in beauty. Welcome to RadioAMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Schmucker, your host, and someone who's been in the beauty industry for about 40 years. So RadioAMB stands for American-Made Beauty, and here we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our program sponsor actually today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com, which is a beauty platform designed to help consumers recognize beauty brands that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com to find brands that meet the strictest of guidelines to qualify. If you remember back on March 7th, we brought you a show with the wife of my guest today, Melissa Yamaguchi. If you missed that show, you can go back to our archives on AmericanMadeBeauty.com and tap into that show to learn about the energy of the earth and our individual vibrations and how they're understood through the study of Feng Shui. My guest today has built salons that are recognized by beauty editors among the top in California and across the United States. Billy Yamaguchi, born in Japan, blends Eastern philosophy of Feng Shui with Western techniques to create transformative customer experiences in beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and wellness. During our feature interview, we'll learn about Billy's journey into the industry, highlights of his career, and why Yamaguchi Lifestyle brand and salon were selected by the Four Seasons, along with the California Health and Longevity Institute, become one of the nation's premier destinations of beauty and wellness. During our segment we call In the Jar, we'll learn about Billy's own hair care brand called Yamaguchi's Hair Therapy and why it was one of the pioneering brands introduced 20 years ago that shifted consumers' demand for healthy products. Then in our segment we call Beauty That Soul Deep, we'll talk to Billy about the use of Feng Shui to uncover individual human energy for people in all stages of life. And finally, we'll wrap up with our Beauty Biz section, and we'll learn about the newest direction of the Yamaguchi brand with the introduction of Nabu range of products and the use of Feng Shui 5 elements for hair care. So let's get started, and let me tell you a little bit more about Billy. As president and co-owner, Billy Yamaguchi has developed a series of salons that offer unsurpassed service in luxury settings in Ventura, California, and at the Four Seasons Hotel in Westlake Village, California. Billy is a featured guest artist at luxury destinations all over the United States, earning him the reputation as the Deepak Chopra of beauty by national beauty and fashion editors. During the course of his 25-year career, Billy has soared to the top of the industry by doing countless fashion shows, photo and makeup shoots, and television commercials. He's served as the international spokesperson for top hair companies and conducted educational classes all over the world. Billy's brand stands out as he's brought the fundamentals of hair artistry and Feng Shui beauty principles to a worldwide community of stylists. He's translated his passion into events titled Being the CEO of You that has reached not only health, beauty, and wellness companies, but general corporations and civic organizations domestically and internationally. As the author of 2 published books, Billy spreads his message of honoring the individual and has made numerous appearances on national, international shows, including ABC, CBS, CNN, Style Network, E! Entertainment, even Dr. Phil, just to name a few. Along with the salons, Billy and his wife Melissa have built the Yamaguchi Lifestyle Hair Therapy product line featuring botanical-based and essential oil and ingredients, and are both sought-after motivational speakers by audiences all over the world. Billy, welcome to RadioAMB.
Thank you so much, Patty. That's just wow, just hearing all what's gone on in such a blink of an eye. It's
Absolutely.
amazing.
25 years, it just goes by so quick. Tell us how a young man from Japan got started in the beauty industry.
Well, I was very, very fortunate. My mother was in the beauty business and had done hair in Japan, the United States, and also Europe. And when I was growing up, I lived my first 11 years in Japan and then 6 years in Germany. My father was in the American Air Force. And when we got back stateside, I had already had a high school scholarship to play basketball, and I got injured my senior year, and my mother had shared with me, that she had thought I should become a hairdresser because I really appreciated girls or women at the time. And I really didn't understand what she meant, by it, but when I got into it, I was very fortunate because I had really incredible teachers. So I really believe in the apprenticeship type of program. So having world champion hairdressers help guide me, just like when I was playing basketball, my father would always say, you want to be an eagle, you got to hang out with other eagles. Mm-hmm. And I took that also in the beauty industry. So I believe for the youth that are coming into this industry, it's really, really important for them to get that roadmap.
And you studied with some of the masters. Tell us a little bit about the people that were early influences for you in your career.
Some of my early influences was Hans Wolf, who I ended up getting into partnership with after apprenticing for about 3.5 years with him, and then traveling globally, with him, which was very, very fortunate because I've always had thought that, you give your best and somebody who really believes in you will, take you along. And then Horst, who was the founder of Aveda, who did a great job with aromatherapy, and this is where it took our product line, in the sense of making sure which aromas go with which personality and which lifestyles. And then Yosh Toya, who was from San Francisco, into quick cutting, and then I got inducted into Kofir, which is all the who's who hairdressers of the world, and that right there, I felt like I was in the NBA at the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I just was just very fortunate to always to remember to keep my teacup halfway full, so that this way everybody who was senior and seasoned more than myself would be able to continue to keep sharing, their wisdom.
But that was a very interesting saying, keep your teacup halfway full. Explain that a little bit.
Well, in Asia, water is considered knowledge. Mm-hmm. And lots of times when I would go teach, with some of my mentors, you could see in the audience's face as if they felt like they already knew what we were sharing with them on the stage. Uh-huh. And so that meant their teacup was too full, and anything that we were going to share with them wasn't going to retain inside. Mm-hmm. And so the education that I had received was, in order for you to keep it halfway full, it's really important for all of us humans to share our knowledge to everybody else so that it can empty the teacup.
Interesting. What a great analogy. And so the early influence that you had being in the Japanese culture and being raised by your mom, you were introduced to Feng Shui earlier in your life. How did you, first of all, give us the basics. For those that didn't hear Melissa's show, can you give us the basics of exactly what is Feng Shui?
Yeah, it literally means, Feng means, F-E-N-G means wind, which is your breath. And then Shui, S-H-U-I, means water, which is basically, anywhere between 60 and 80% of what we're made out of. Mm-hmm. And so when I was growing up in Japan, my grandfather was an influence and had shared with me about a little bit about Feng Shui. But to be honest with you, Patty, I didn't really understand how it was going to pertain to my life until Melissa shared it with me through homes and landscaping. And as I was traveling, she was sharing with me that you're Feng Shuian people, and I didn't even really know that I was doing that. So then I went on to the journey of learning about the 5 elements, which are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood, which are identical to the 5 senses in the West, which are touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing. And so it became quite fascinating, to me when I started to ask questions of these 5 elements and 5 senses to clients, and started to see a pattern that was happening. And it didn't matter whether I was teaching in Asia or South Africa or Europe. Everybody understood energy, and that is what we're made out of, is energy. And we've been very fortunate to, create haircuts, color, makeup techniques that are all associated to these 5 elements.
Okay. And so, say that again. The 5 elements of Feng Shui are
fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And these 5 elements basically are what we embody. So how we embody it is basically, the fire is basically 3 fingers below the navel area. It's the chi, or it's the ki, or it's called prana, or in Hawaii we will call it mana, and in English we call it energy. That's the fire element. And then it goes to the earth element, and the earth element is the ashes that we will all go back to. It doesn't sound good, but it is what it is. And then the metal element, it's actually not the metal from like hip surgery or the steel that we might see on our scissors. It's actually the 78 minerals we're born with. 44 from the sea, 34 from the land. We're at least 75% water element. And then the wood element, people think of like wood furniture or the branches, and it's not. It's actually the greenery, Patty. It's the oxygen that we breathe. Those are the 5 elements that we embody.
Okay. And so how do those connect to the 5 senses?
The 5 senses, basically, the fire element is the touch. The earth element is the taste, which is like food. And then the metal element is about smell and being precise about senses that we all can go back to in our childhood. Like when I land back in Japan, it's just like it brings me right back to my childhood.
Right.
And then the sight is the water element, and then the hearing is going to be the wood element, which means for a number of us hairdressers to stop to listen to the client and not necessarily speak so fast.
Right.
Almost like the Austin Powers, kind of like zip it.
Right.
Because it's all about the client, and I just find it quite amazing on how a lot of us hairdressers have a tendency of wanting to speak and share our thoughts before even listening to the client.
Right, absolutely. And so Melissa basically started really bringing this forward, a tradition that you had been introduced to by your grandfather. When did you make the connection between Feng Shui and beauty? Because Melissa's initial introduction was with space and gardening and design of spaces and homes. Is that right?
Yes. See, Melissa deals, because we all come into the world with 8 elements. That's why 8 is a very auspicious number in Asia. And so Melissa deals with the 6 that basically never change.
Okay.
And she usually will get 3 of them, which in the West we will know as our month, our day, and our year. And so those 6 elements that she deals with, which are also time and the season and the period of time you come into this world, those don't ever change, Patty. The 2 that I personally and our team deals with are what we call in Feng Shui the fluctuating elements.
Okay.
The elements that are ever changing. Like I've been with Melissa now for going towards 31 years, and we're not the same humans as we were 31 years ago. We have 2 children, salons, books, products. Life is constantly changing, and I find it quite fascinating on lots of times how a lot of times hairdressers will have a tendency of continually doing the same thing on their client, and not knowing that the client is also maturing.
Right.
And so let's just say when I was speaking to an editor when it came to makeup, that's the one area that's the easiest, I believe, to actually help a client that's maturing so that she's not wearing the same makeup as she was in her 20s that she's now wearing in her 50s.
Right.
So we're ever changing. And so the personality and the lifestyle is what our team tends to go after, which is on the floor, on the hair floor.
And so those are the two elements of Feng Shui, the personality and lifestyle, that are the ones that are constantly changing.
Constantly changing. And this is where, I used to only speak to a lot of hairdressers, at one time, and all the, international beauty shows. And I was so fortunate to get into, our Four Seasons location. Mr. Murdoch who's the 123rd wealthiest man in the world, who brought us in and brought us to this wellness center in Southern California, and who has it all feng shuied. And I was just, this very fortunate because I really wanted to take our platform to a different level, because I remember my mentors sharing with me that, be proud to be a hairdresser, Billy, because doctors and dentists and hairdressers used to be under one roof. And, in the 60s where the unicuts, supercuts changed our industry, it was really important for us as hairdressers to elevate ourselves to a higher level like the doctors and the dentists. And I feel that, through these 5 elements or 5 senses, I've been able to now speak to a lot of corporations, because one of the things that I appreciate you saying that I love saying is be the CEO of the 5 elements or 5 senses, or just of you, however one's going to receive it and get it.
Right, right. And so you, with the work that you've done with the building of your salons, when did you know that the best way for you to continue your work was to actually become a business owner and own your own salon?
I'll be very honest, which I always am. I never really wanted to go in and really, have my own, salon. It just, I'd like to say, just seamlessly happened. And I loved what one of my mentors said, and that was that, if you're ever going to do that, make sure that you're passionate about what you do, because it's 365 days, 24/7, almost like a doctor,
right.
Doing surgery. And I'd like to say that Melissa and I had a wonderful time, owning a number of locations. And now I like how, she's created me to become now a celebrity artist, at a number of different locations, in Maui, New York, and Texas, and, et cetera. I just, I love that because I love teaching a lot. I love sharing, I feel this gift, that I've received. So, for us, it happened in 1992 at the end of 1992, and was very, very fortunate to, grow from, one salon to a number of salons, and then all of a sudden, during the what I call global recession, Melissa decided to right-size our company and have myself start to be a celebrity guest artist.
And as a guest artist, and I've had the good fortune of sitting in your chair, can you quickly tell us what is the most important first step in that process to be able to tap in and look at the personality and the lifestyle?
Oh, I would love to. I believe, Patty, the first thing is the consultation. I love giving a feng shui consultation, and I have to ask 4 powerful questions to the client. And I wouldn't mind even sharing it with you so that you can see how, it's matured. It's almost like the editor from Allure magazine said, Billy, years ago I thought that this was just a trend, and now I see it's turned into a lifestyle. So, it's where it's into massage, it's into the oils, it's into hair and makeup. So if I could ask you these 4 powerful questions, Patty, one would be is that if you could give me some words, Patty, that describe your personality, which means who you are. So I'll kind of also share with you about myself. One of my words is passion. I'm very passionate about what I speak about and what I do, Patty. That would be a word that would describe my personality.
Okay.
What word would you give me?
I would say focused.
Focused, perfect. So when you think of that word focused, my second question would be is that what color comes to mind? And I'm not asking for your favorite color because as I travel globally, a lot of people will just resonate to their favorite color. But I'm asking, when you think of the word focus, because when I think of passion, I think of red. But when you think of focus, what do you think of?
I think of a forest green.
A forest green. Perfect. And then, third question, give me some words or a word that describes the way you live. How do you live? Because I live on the go. I live very creatively. How do you live?
I think I live more intentional. Very purposeful.
Intentional. Beautiful. Beautiful word, too. And when you think of the word intentional, what color resonates to you?
I think blue.
And is that blue a sky blue, or is it a...
It's a deep... It's more like a deep ocean blue.
Ocean blue. Perfect. Okay. So those words and colors are going to be identifiers to one of the 5 elements. So you just chose the green element, which is mine as well, which is the wood element. It means that you love to be social, playful, outgoing. You're great at managing and pushing projects through. And I also need to share with you that there's a yin and a yang, because there's sometimes when in the audience, some people will be like, well, me? And I'm going to share with them that this is either who they are or what they need.
Okay.
And so it's the wood element. The other element that you chose was the water element, which means that you're a deep thinker, a visionary. You're forward-thinking. And so once I get to know these elements, I can share with you the cut. I would recommend a little bit more tousled. And then the water element, I want to keep your look professional but with an edge, which we will call chic. And
Very cool. Very cool. So we're going to take a break. That's what's really awesome because it just hits me on. It hits straight to where I am. We're going to take a break, and when we come back for our next segment, we call In the Jar, we'll learn a little bit more. We'll follow up this conversation and also learn a little bit more about the Yamaguchi Hair Therapy brand. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com, and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Schmucker, and we're here with Billy Yamaguchi of Yamaguchi Lifestyle Salon and Spa for the segment we call In the Jar. So, Billy, you just did an amazing consultation. You asked me 4 questions. I gave you 4 answers, and you were able to connect that to the energy, the 5 elements of Feng Shui, and then immediately come back with some ideas for a hairstyle for me. I think that's really an incredible aspect. How did you develop that relative to hairstyling? What was that process?
I started to, utilize one of my sites, which not only was just, one of them was definitely my eyes, being able to actually see as I was traveling globally that anybody who chose the water element, they either needed to be enhanced with a look that looked professional with an edge, or I might have needed to suggest makeup techniques that had a little bit more of a look that had this chic look. And when I saw somebody who chose green or a green color, it was just amazing to actually see how they were usually very social, or like I was saying, there's a yin and a yang. So the wood element could be a bamboo, but it also could be a redwood, which is very, very strong and it's not going to move. So it could also mean somebody who, like myself, when growing up in Japan, I was very, very quiet because you didn't speak until spoken to, in a way, because of my father being in the military, having a very structured life. But now that I'm a man, I'm a father, a husband, I feel I have something to say, and I'm now learning how to say it, because also people that choose wood, if they get frustrated, they have to watch it, that they just don't regurgitate on somebody's life. They need to make sure that they say it, properly.
So this is really, this is a study that, when we talked to Melissa, it was the same thing. Both of you have really studied this and studied the application as far as people are concerned. Now you developed actually a hair brand that went along with this. How long ago did you bring out the hair care brand?
Oh, I'd like to say probably over 25 years ago. I think, if I'm not mistaken, our soy shampoo was the trailblazer, the first sodium lauryl sulfite free out there. Because I'm a colorist, I wanted to make sure that our color was being held in and not being, stripped out, especially, when we're charging, especially as seasoned hairdressers or celebrity person who might be charging a little bit more, you want to make sure that they are maintaining that color at home. And so, yes.
And that was pretty revolutionary. 25 years ago, the whole idea of bringing out products that were sulfate free. And for our listeners, if you understand that sulfates are basically salts. And when they're used in shampoos, and correct me if I'm wrong, Billy, that the salts tend to pull color out of the hair, and that's the reason why you chose 25 years ago to really start bringing products that didn't have those salts in them.
Yes, definitely, because you could already just start to see, people, complaining about, what was going on. And a great example, you said it perfectly, also was, to show visualization as like jeans. You end up washing them with detergent so much, all of a sudden they're going to end up, fading out. Right. And so wanted to really, maintain, that beautiful hair color.
And but you were pioneering 25 years ago the use of soy or, sulfate-free products. There were some other ingredients that you knew way back then were not acceptable. What were some of the other pioneering aspects of the brand?
Well, some of the other pioneer stuff, thank you for asking, is like our nori. People call it nori, but we call it nori, which is seaweed. The kelp, the seaweed was strengthening, and helping to condition, our actual hair that was weakening from, let's just say, permanent waves and hair color at the same time. And then we started to notice that, as the baby boomers were maturing, we came out with a Shido. And if you notice, these are all, Asian names, of course, and Shido means white. And it was taking out the, gold or brassiness in somebody who had that nice white silver hair. So ours has this really beautiful blue as well as purple inside of it. And, of course, the blue is to eliminate the orange, the brassy, and then the purple is to eliminate the actual yellow in hair. And then we have our two conditioners, which mochi conditioner, which is a rice conditioner, and then we also have a nori conditioner. So interesting for me to say nori, but nori conditioner, and a beautiful kabuki mask, which, I love that name because it's like putting on a kabuki mask, and yet this is our deep conditioner, which allows a number of the women that have extensions to be able to have this be applied in their hair without it pulling their extensions out.
And as I look at this brand, and particularly considering that it's a brand that's 25 years old, you've evolved it, but where was your inspiration? 25 years ago, people were not aware of all of this kind of stuff. How did you learn and how did you research to figure out how to make your product different and unique?
Well, fortunate, this is a family-run business. My mother-in-law, Patricia, who's also general manager of all of our location, who I love and endear, not just because she's my mother-in-law, but because I'm dyslexic. I was very fortunate because she's had 35 years of teaching. She was really an incredible teacher. She had a wonderful friend that had a plant, and it was back there in Oklahoma. And she said, Billy, I just think that you would get along, with this chemist. And she had the largest aloe vera organic plants that were there in Oklahoma, that it was just absolutely a dream come true. And for her to be able to take me underneath her wings and educate me on how products are to be manufactured was just, a delight, because I had studied underneath Horst, and I thought, wow, this would be, quite a treat to get into. And sure enough, it's been an incredible partnership with my mother-in-law, helping to assist me with all the different plants and ingredients that we come up with in our product.
Right. All right, great. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll talk with Billy about using Feng Shui to uncover individual human energy with people in all stages of their life. So don't go away. We will be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now, this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. You're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. I'm your host, Patty Schmucker, and I'm here with Billy Yamaguchi, president and co-founder of Yamaguchi Lifestyle Salons and Spas. In this segment that we call Beauty That's Sold Deep, Billy, can you share with us a little bit about how you use Feng Shui to uncover individual human energy and actually uncover but also inspire?
Perfect, yes. Feng Shui, of course, literally means wind and water. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm speaking to a group, it's really important for me to share with them that what I'm speaking about is not a religion, but it's a science that turns itself into an art form. And when I ask each of the clients our 4 powerful questions, which are, give me some words that describe your personality, give me a color that describes that actual word that you're thinking, and then give me a word that describes the way you're living, and then give me my last question, which is a color that describes the way you're living. What it does is it allows me to have somebody go inside. Mm-hmm. And because I take care of probably over 90% women, I'd like to say that lots of times women are, as well as men, but are utilizing their eyes to look for the treasure in this world when the treasure already lies inside of us. And so I want all of our clients to go inside. Mm-hmm. And this is where, I'm grateful that Deepak Chopra is a big endorser for us because he talks about being conscious. Mm-hmm. I want people to be conscious of the 5 elements or the 5 senses. And what I've noticed is that as women are maturing, like as I'm maturing, I've seen them go through perimenopause, menopause. I've seen them go through the empty nest syndrome, and then all of a sudden not even know who they are.
Right.
And my thought is that it's important to know who you are because we're constantly changing. And I've seen where we've been very fortunate to give back, to the elderly, to the youth, to the women's shelter, abused women, that I want people to have the self-confidence that they came into this world with. And I believe us hairdressers can help create that transformation.
And I love what you say about the idea that, most people are using their eyes to look out for the prize, and what your work is really looking at being able to help them look inside. I think that's just a beautiful expression of the unique work that you do. And you shared with me when we were talking earlier about how you've been able to apply this with one of your older clients. Can you share that story with everyone?
Yeah, she doesn't mind me mentioning her name. So her name is Natty, and Natty came. She's been was my first client ever when I first started hairdressing, and she's still living, to this day, which is absolutely fabulous because I want to be about wellness. And Natty came to Melissa about 3 years ago and had said, Melissa, I think I'm ready to go to the other side, which meant that she was ready to, pass on, die, move forward, and yet she was so vital and traveled the world and was alive, and I was just like, that made no sense to me. And I hadn't been doing Natty's hair at all for about, I'd like to say maybe 17 years. And what happened was that 17 years ago, Natty had said to me, Billy, you are going to grow, and I need you to grow, and I don't want you to be worried about me, and I will still keep coming back to your salon, but you need to grow. And I'll go and continue to support your company by going to one of your other stylists, and that hurt, Patty. It was like, oh my gosh, because we become attached, to our clients. And so years had gone by, and when I heard Melissa say that to me, I said, you know what, I'm going to approach Natty next week, and I'm going to ask her for the permission if I can start doing her hair again. And so she entered the salon the following week, and I shared with her that I was working on a book. And I've asked her if she would come to the mirror and stand there and repeat what I say every morning. And I said, Natty, please say, I believe and feel my best days are still to come. And she just started weeping right in front of that mirror, Patty. And I didn't expect that. I just wanted her to realize that there's still life, and I started to take care of her and recolor her hair because, like I had mentioned, even in my own organization, people just kept doing the same formulation when, I believe in seasonal coloring. So the thought would be is that, the key would be is that the color's not going to be the same as spring and summer that it's going to be in autumn and winter. And so we should be constantly enhancing, our coloring. And so I did that, and she is still living to this day. She's 89 years old. She has beaten cancer right now, and I am so grateful because I'm asking her to go on a book tour, with me as far as to share with people her story and what she's doing. Because one of the things as hairdressers we can do is make them not only just look good, but we can make them feel good. But I do believe that it's important for us to go inside.
And you also use the other instrument there that you talk about is the power of words. Because those 3 words, or those few words that she was using every morning, that she believes that her best days still are to come. What is the effect of her utilizing those words?
Well, because we all know that words have vibration. And so, and then sometimes as I'm speaking to the audience, they don't realize that they do. Like in our home, my wife, Melissa, has the word believe for our 2 children. That's what they've grown up with, not hope. I don't hope to do good hair, Patty. I don't hope to give the audience of yours right here an okay speech. I believe I'm going to do great hair. I believe I'm going to speak well. And so words, we don't even stop to think about that self-chatter that we do, that sometimes we're tearing ourselves down before we even get up to the plate.
Right. And do you find that that's particularly one of the things that you deal with when you're dealing with your younger staff?
Definitely. Because
self-chatter?
The younger staff, I'd like to say, Patty, doesn't have the self-confidence. So the youth, you want to teach them about how important it is for them to get up and speak that this is going to be their best day. I believe and feel something great is happening to me today. I think it's very, very powerful to be able to say. And I write these words on my mirror, and I write them for our children while they're brushing their teeth, so they're somewhat forced to have to read them. And so they'll jokingly say, "Oh, there goes Papa doing his graffiti." But I know that it's going into the youth's head because they're our future.
Right.
And I think it's important for them to speak self-confidence to themselves.
Right. Absolutely, and this is the idea that words have power and they have energy, and the more that we understand that, the more we can unleash our power. Which
exactly.
is a new book that you're going to be writing. So
exactly, I was going to say I like that. That's going to be the title of our book. Yeah.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear a little bit more about the newest direction of Yamaguchi brands, which includes a book and the introduction of Nabu range using the 5 senses of element for hair care. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back. You're listening to RadioAMB, where we share the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our program sponsor today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com. So go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com and learn about brands that are adhering to the best standards for building their products. I'm here with Billy Yamaguchi, president and co-founder of Yamaguchi Lifestyle Salons and Spas, Yamaguchi Hair Therapy, and now there's some exciting new developments in the Yamaguchi family of brands. Tell us, Billy, a little bit about Nabu and why you decided to start this new brand.
Well, I'll go ladies first with our daughter, Seiji. She decided at the age of 13, as she started to see how her parents were enjoying the wellness, the beauty industry, and thought, what would it take in order for me to come out with a makeup line? And so she started to work with her mother as well as myself, and Mom was, of course, talking about the numbers and what it would cost, and I would start sharing with her about Feng Shui, of course, as she's grown up with it. but how each of the 5 elements has a different makeup technique. So in her line, the Seiji collection, we have in the fire element, you'll have techniques that are going to be a little bit more bolder, a little bit more sexier. You'll have in the earth element makeups that are going to be a little bit more natural and simple. Then in the metal element, you'll have to where somebody looks very, very classic and a timeless type of makeup technique. So in hers, she's going to go towards that, direction on educating the youth about how to apply certain makeup techniques that will go with the Seiji collection. And then, of course, our son, the next, ended up seeing what she was doing and followed suit and came up with the Nobu line. And Nobu means a man of integrity, is what his Chinese character stands for. And he's coming with the 5 elements, which will have a shampoo, a conditioner, and a lotion, and then also an oil of the 5 different elements. And the 5 elements have different aromas that go with the different elements. So let's just say somebody is a fire element, and they're low. They might have had a breakup or a divorce or something like this, Patty. She might need the wood element. So if you think of wood chips being thrown on fire, it's going to enhance or it's going to liven up the fire. If she is stressed out and she is overwhelmed with life, she can get balanced by the water element product, because water is going to be more calming and have the calming essential oils in it, which becomes a lifestyle. So say, for instance, me coming and giving this talk, I was getting, pepped up with the wood element, which has, say, eucalyptus or pine. There's certain aromas that go with these certain elements, which I feel it's a lot of fun, with this. And they're getting educated, whereas our son is, giving back to bullion, because he's only in, this year he's gone into 9th grade this year. And then our daughter, gives back to the environment, especially the ocean. And so through their mother, learning, to continue to be very philanthropic, I think is really, important.
And so your daughter's giving back to the ocean. What did you say that Nobu is doing?
Nobu is actually giving back to bullion because of the experience that he had, felt and also had seen. And so it's really about bullying for them, for him. And as they continue to keep maturing, she wants to make sure that they know that they can continue to keep changing, directions, with their proceeds.
So what a great experience that they've had the opportunity to watch you bring this tradition from your grandfather into your business, you and Melissa, and make it a thriving part of the business. But now also your Melissa's mom being the business person that are now passing on and getting the kids involved at still a relatively young age to help them see how to create thriving, sustainable business. I can't imagine what dinner is like around your table at night.
I tell you, I love that you say that, because when I was, over 30 years ago when, I met Melissa, they would be speaking about books at the dinner table, and here being dyslexic, in which I never knew, Patty, that over 70% of the people that come into our industry are dyslexic. And they don't need to be ashamed of it, because I used to be. And then to get to meet Mr. Murdoch, who's 123rd wealthiest man in the world, who's also dyslexic. There are other ways, so there needs to be no excuses, in a sense of there's no way that we cannot continue, to learn, because we can use our other senses in order to educate ourselves. So with this next book that Patricia, who's my mother-in-law, who has written the other two, this book, Energy Unleashed, is being edited, right now, and it's about, helping, I'd like to say, all ages, because our second book, Feng Shui Beauty, was truly for people that were like 17 years and older, because lots of times when they're younger, like our children, even though, the dinner talks are very healthy, the thought is that they're continually trying to find their energy. And so we say this book, Energy Unleashed, is going to be for all ages, so that the youth can really, truly feel that it's very important for them to speak positive words to themselves and not beat themselves up with negative words, or the elderly not to trip and fall and then all of a sudden say, you know what, I can't go out and do that anymore, but to create new words to themselves that I believe and feel my best days are still to come.
Absolutely. And the other pearl that you gave us today is the concept of having your teacup half empty. I love that metaphor, where in doing so you're able to be in a place where you can receive. You recognize that you've got wisdom that you've developed over your lifetime, and that's what you're saying in your tradition, in the Japanese tradition. Water represents knowledge, but if your cup is too full, you have no space to receive from the outside world.
Totally. Also, another great endorser that helped me out, Patty, is Phil Jackson. He used to be for the Los Angeles Lakers. He had shared with me a book that's called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. And Phil has always said, Billy, continue to have a beginner's mind. And I've never have forgotten, these words, beginner's mind. I think if we all can continue to do that, we'll all continue to understand that word humility. Right. Humility and genuine curiosity for the world. Yes. Billy, thank you so much. It was just such an honor to have a chance to chat with you. I've enjoyed my time with Melissa, and I know we've got the kids coming up in a show later on this year as well. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today and for all the great work you're doing. Thank you so much for all the years I've known you. It's my pleasure. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. A few weeks ago, we spoke with Jim Yates about business systems to help develop careers of people entering the industry. Join us next week as we bring a man that has been making waves in the beauty industry for over 30 years, Mr. Neil Dukoff, a business guru that's helping business owners understand the business outcomes that allow them to build successful professional beauty companies. Send us your questions and comments to requests@AmericanMadeBeauty.com. I'm Patty Schmucker. You're listening to RadioAMB on HealthyLife.net. Thank you for listening to RadioAMB, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.